circles to click like, share, subscribe, follow if you like. Y'all know what the vibe is. Y'all know what type of time I'll be on. If you don't like it, go ahead and scroll on. If you're on here with the zone, just come on in. I said, go ahead and call me Go DJ. Yes, my DJ. And everybody said, come on into the room. They said, come on into the room. You already know. It's like a bedroom boom, but I don't know what the fuck she on, because I presume she on one tonight. She on live again. She on live. She streaming. What we doing again? I don't know, sir. Let's go ahead and check it out one more time again. It's only Thursday, so what we doing? What we getting ourselves in today? It said, go DJ. That's our DJ. Make sure y'all check the community board. It's some music that some people are probably sitting there listening to, because it's like right now, what does she know about this type of time and what type of music this is? Back in 1996 again, Cotton Candy, Sweet and Gold, let me see you. Do it and let me touch your soul. Let your soul glow. Oh my goodness, Archangel Michael, thank you for coming into the building. Thank you for being my guidance, my protection, my shields. Any negative energy, please make sure you return it back tenfold. It don't belong to me. Everything, energy, anything we come in between, you already know it's just me. Okay? Thank you for the divine connection. And any other energy in between, it don't belong to me. Make sure they feel what it means. Thank you for the protection. Thank you for the shield. Let's go have our new beginning, all right? It's right now, confirmation prediction. It's a thin line between love and hate. Somebody said, do you mean like Martin Lawrence or the Players Club type? Nah, I mean it's a thin line between love and hate. But other people, they know they can't discriminate, because what your past is your past. We can't undo. But it requires you to acknowledge that you did that shit too. Also, we're doing back screen, double screen, because other people understand that they live streaming, so they got to go ahead and do other things behind the screen. So it's just like, let's make sure we do what it is that we mean. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't ever come in with revenge either way. It's just like, somebody is sitting back on what it is that they said and contemplating today. Because somebody was like, in the energy that I was picking up as I was taking the shower or whatever. And it was just like, as I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, micro pig, I'm just going to name you by that. But if I have to call you by your name, David, Michael, whichever one you want to, I was just like, I had did my due diligence on him a long time ago, but I was just like, let's see which one is going to speak up first. And apparently neither one of them did, but you know, they had their little secret thing or whatever, but I was like, I'm not going to let that shit bother me. But considering that either one of them didn't want to say nothing, I was like, all right, well, I'll still allow the game to keep going, because with the game of the situation, unbeknownst to both of them, they didn't know that I knew the connections in between was going to connect them all together. And this is like somebody like, oh, so you knew all along. I did, but who was going to say what first? And with that situation, see, if I had went on ahead and went into the trap would have led me into going ahead and going to see that Shorty is there and he be here, and then there was no way for anybody to make the connection for either one of them. But then it was also like, well, let me allow them to go ahead to do what it is that they gonna do. Because for one fact, I already knew one person wasn't gonna ever fucking speak up, so I wasn't gonna get upset. Because I was like, at the end of the day, it's business. At the other one, this is just a play because this person is gonna play on the fence. But then it's like, how is it that she know how we gonna, represent this shit? Because I mean, you gotta understand, at the end of the day, it's still money on the board. It's still money on the table. Because either way it goes, this person want it really bad, even though they're in their feelings and they got the love for it. But this one want to stay hidden and still be having this connection to the other people. But I still need you to come into the trap. You see what I'm saying? It's like it would have still been a trap either way it goes. Like, yeah, I'm into, yeah, you a star. But then it's like at the same time, why would a star want to come into the trap of the whole situation? Is anyone going to have a conversation, or everybody going to be scared? So one, on one end it's like somebody's like, well shit, I'm into it, but I'm not into it, but I'm more spiritual because my people are still traditional. Well, ain't nothing traditional about me. So it's like, why would you be into, like, that's like, for me, like, honestly, it's like a conversation where certain people will have to have when it speak to, it's a thin line between that love and hate, but it's like, it's not a love and hate type thing if it's more love and healing in the process versus someone want to hide their embarrassment in the things that they did in the background to go help somebody else. But it's like, to me personally, whatever type of energy it was just like, Sharita, just meditate and sit on that shit for a second. Because it's like, if this is like people looking to create a situation where it's like, for one person is uncomfortable, for another person is just like, okay, I don't give a fuck, but are you going to talk about it? Because it's like, basically address the elephant in the room. If you did it, you did it, okay? What do we do to go from here type shit? Like, whatever. But then it was just like, Sharita, go put on some music. But then as I'm putting on the music, Spotify is so fucking funny, but I was only looking up for that one song by Music Soul Child. And then it's like, you know what? Somebody having that situation, and it's not me because like shit, I'm like out here, but it's just the music usually allow me to self reflect. I love music because it allows me to reflect. But it's like, for somebody, know that regardless of what the situation is, never, don't ever make someone pay for what someone did for what the previous person did. That caused people in the situation to become, what do you call, like, the emotional punching bag, if that's what you call it. And in this situation, that's why it's like, I be telling people, like, I'm gonna get justice one way, in the street or in the court of law. So if I have to address it, we're gonna address it because it's in the room. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's an elephant in the room. I'm addressing it. They're hiding it, trying to suppress it, right? And then on the other hand, it's at the same time, while it's still there, because you got to understand, when a situation is still there, meaning it's still in your peripheral, it's still right there, right? They want to be there, meaning they're causing their own conflict. So meaning, even though you don't care, you're not supposed to care about it, because the only person stressed about it is these people, right? So when these people right here are so, I'm gonna hurt your feelings, I want to break you down, like, if anything, they're hurting their own fucking self in that situation, right? It's just in your peripheral. It's just one of those, be mindful, be self-aware that they're there, right? So when you have those type of people right there, it's like, all right, if you're gonna be there, are we addressing it? No, okay. That's just like reprimanding like a kid or something like that. Are we ready to talk about it? No, okay. Well, you keep on playing until you're ready to talk about it. We'll talk about it. Okay. It's just like, basically, like I said, if this is grown people, these are kids stuffed in grown bodies, trying to look for something to make you feel like, oh, they're nobody, they're this, they're that, right? But you keep them right there. Hey, I know you're there, so let me address that you're there, right? Confirmation. But then it's like, at the same time, you get into the situation where you're focusing on, your current situation. And in my current situation, this is my healing phase. So regardless of what they got going on and they want to interrupt, regardless if they, oh, I'm doing rituals, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, it's not effective, because guess what? It requires you to just submit to it. And if you're submitting to it, of course, it's going to keep being that irritant. And the only irritant of that situation is the fact that it's there, but are you saying something? And then it's like, no. So in the reflection of still being aware that this is here, the focus is, I'm healing it in this present moment. This present moment, I feel this way. In this present moment, I'm happy than a motherfucker, because I was like, that song hit different, because that thin line between it is just like, you recognize where you fuck up. I recognize where I did wrong, where I stayed too long, what I said, what I didn't say. And then all those things that you didn't say in between, it's just like, I didn't like how people had to try to put you in that situation of wanting to please them. And it's like, shit, are you willing to please me? So it's not an even reciprocation. So at that point, you exited out, that situation becomes obsolete. If you are more concerned, if someone's more concerned about you making them happy, and then the reciprocation of you being happy, you being satisfied, you smiling, you being in love, even just within yourself and being happy with the things that you're doing, and these people are not adding into it and it's adding more burden, it's obsolete. Personally, to me, it's obsolete. So then in this moment, it's like I can focus on this moment and then what's to come. And what's to come, what I look for, I know that in that next situation, in that next season of my life, that when it's time for me, cause shit, it's gonna be a roster. May the best man win. Cause I ain't concerned about nothing in the past. The past cannot do anything if the past is not confronting the elephant in the room. So of course it's gonna become obsolete. So anything new, what do you have? What do we need to face? And what are we talking about? And if it's going to match up, is it going to align? Are you fake? Are you not? You know what I'm saying? You want to have those serious conversations. And it's like, I know for a fact that, hey, in this present moment, I have to focus on making sure I'm in that sensible place, that intellectual space. I have to make sure I'm in that emotional and mental space to know that when that time does come, which is not right now, because in this right now moment, it's like, Sharita, you have more peace, you have clarity, even though it's external. Anything that I'm dealing with is external. Okay, Sharita, you tolerate that. You know what I'm saying? It's a tolerance. And with that tolerance, I built up a big tolerance, even though it's a zero tolerance, it's a tolerance. They're toddlers. Toddlers. So, okay, tolerance, right? You have to have tolerance for kids, right? Even if it's just like you don't want to be bought, you got to tolerate it, because if you don't, you lose your temper, then the kid's going to feel like they're going to keep doing it, and doing it again, right? Just like that LL Cool J. I'm doing it and doing it and doing it again. And it's like, I ain't finna keep doing that bullshit again. Toddlers, you go sit in timeout until you ready to talk. Until they ready to talk, you sit their ass in timeout. In that meantime, you go into your peace. You go into your zen. You focus on, okay, this was the bullshit I used to tolerate. This is what I'm not tolerating. This is what I need. What I need is non-negotiable. What I want, okay, we could possibly, keyword, possibly compromise. It ain't mean it's going to be a full compromise, right? But also, you look at a situation that when it comes to those things, that are you ready to accept new things in? Is it a process? Will it be a step? And then it's like you also come to that acceptance where some people are going to become, oh, you acted different. You acted funny. You didn't act like that before. And it's like, what they're talking about is obsolete. Are you bringing anything effective, positive, and energetically positive for me to be able to move forward with you to be here? Because other than that, what you're talking about is going to be like, I'm listening, but I ain't hearing shit you're talking about, because clearly is irrelevant, right? That's no different than somebody doing something towards you and you know for a fucking fact that I hear you, but I'm not listening, because what they could be saying, that is clearly not something that they're going to do. So it's just like, I know I'm not the reason or the cause for you to make me pay for something that somebody did in your past. And any type of energy where someone got to sit there and try to provoke certain things, you're making someone innocent, regardless of what this situation is. You're making someone pay for something in the past. Past could have been yesterday. Somebody told you no. You're making somebody pay for that no that you was told 3 hours ago. Pay right now. That was a past. That was past 3 hours ago. And this 1 second right here now, in this second, in this hour right now, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to myself to be fucking happy. I'm saying yes to myself to be able to enjoy the vibe. I'm saying yes to myself that, hey, for every moment that there was a no, I'm telling myself yes, where I can do better. I'm telling myself yes, regardless of what someone say. No, oh, they chose someone because you wasn't worth it. Bitch, I'm worth it every second of the day for myself. Every day that I wake up, every day that I put something, my best foot forward, every day that I sit there and confront shit that did not make me comfortable, that did not make me happy, that did not match up with what I wanted to do. Because when you reach an age of an adulthood, you do what you want to do, right? It's about what makes you happy, what makes you move, about what's going to support you. If a person can't support you, love you, and know what it is that you like, whether it comes from different food, cultures, colors, race, ethnicity, music, it doesn't matter. To the left, I don't give a fuck who the fuck I gotta let go. It doesn't matter. And because at the same time, it's like, is everybody on that same page? Okay, well, if I'm not being listened to and I'm not being heard and it's not being supported, so apparently you start bringing what? You bring it within yourself. And then you start bringing it to the people who are going to celebrate with you, not tolerate you, but celebrate with you. If not only celebrating with you, they're encouraging you. They're supporting you. And if they're not willing to do that shit, you just stick with those who do, and those who don't, they don't deserve to be where you're going in your next part of your life. Period. Period. It's just simple as that. If they're not willing to be there in the next part of your fucking life, so be it. You must be in my head. Okay, if I am, so be it. But apparently it's causing you, if you sit down and listen effective enough, it's going to allow you to go ahead and be like, damn, this is what I could do next. This is what I'm going to do. And guess what? You start feeling better and better and better. Would you rather feel better about this shit or be sitting there and breathing and sitting there huffing and puffing all fucking day, stressed the fuck out, everybody irritating the fuck out of you, anything that you're talking to people and it's like, they don't get it. They don't get it. Okay, apparently it wasn't meant for them to get it. And if they're not willing to understand and be like, hey man, hey, you know, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Help us help you so we can figure out, show me what you talking about. And if people are not willing to be sitting there being on that page to ask you like, well, let me research what you talking about, or let me look into what you looking into so I can get a different perspective. If you don't have people in your corner like that or around you, family, friend, foe, your children, whatever the fuck ever, and they're not willing to sit there as a parent, like for me, I look at it, I have to reparent myself. As a parent, what did I need? I needed someone to sit there and elaborate with me or collaborate. So when you're doing a collaboration, right, it's no different than when you're writing poetry, writing a song, writing a movie. It's no different than if you just collaborating, trying to do pictures, going out or anything, right? You got to coordinate that shit, right? So in order for you to get on that same vibration, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about changing my lifestyle. All right. So what does changing your lifestyle look like from your perspective? Even if I don't understand it, show me whether am I a visual learner, am I an auditory learner, am I writing that down? Like, but if you fucking, really sure about seeing someone's progress, you're gonna have them like, show me what you talk about. Show me what you're talking about. And if they still don't get it, guess what? That's just going to be one person. They just don't get it. And that's just going to be one person that you know, or whatever focus point that you have, because it's not coming to your brain for no reason. Nothing ever comes to your brain for no reason. Nothing ever goes into your heart. And especially if it's in your brain and it's in your heart, it's just requiring you to just get an alignment about the execution. It's there for a reason, but it's just, can you execute it? Take action on that shit, right? And when you start taking the action and stuff like that, you'll start the energy going. So either the energy is going to either tell you no, and if you retract from it, that just means, and whatever it is, okay, somebody will tell you no, or it'll be a maybe, or it'll be something where, hey, we need to have this. The more you sit there and face that shit head on, as if you running into a motherfucking freight train, god damn it, you know you doing the right fucking thing. It ain't like you gonna sit there and just stand in the middle of the train track and just get fucking hit, or you gonna see that bitch and you gonna skedaddle, or you gonna, hey, let me slow down, let me reiterate myself, let me gather my thoughts as the train going by, and reflect. Eventually that thing's gonna go by and you're gonna take that next step. But when you take that next step, you gotta use that precaution. Look left, look right before you go. And then when you go and you got that clearance, take that motherfucking action. Because what anybody else say after that, because it's your thought, it's your thing. Regardless if it went bad one time, just because it went bad before, shit can go bad 10 to 100 fucking times. For every 100 times, there's 200 more times for you to get up. For every 200 times, there's 600 times that you can get a fucking, get up or get a yes. You just don't know. It's just about did you take the chance? If you don't take the chance, that was all on you. You can't blame anybody but yourself about certain things that you didn't reflect on, that you didn't think about, that you didn't do. Because all you're going to do, that I didn't do this because of you. I even say it's because of no fucking body. If anything didn't happen, it's on my own accord. It's the same thing. Well, shit, Rita, you fucked up and you had all these kids or whatever. But hey, what you didn't do, you didn't leave soon enough. What you didn't do is you didn't speak the fuck up. Sharita, what you didn't do is you didn't put in the action and the perspective. Sharita, what you didn't do, I gotta blame my motherfucking self. I can't blame the next motherfucker about what they did and what they didn't do. I can't sit here and get mad about none of that because that's gonna fall on me. If I had the idea that, hey, I want to be the best motherfucking rapper alive, okay, I'm gonna be the top female rapper of the motherfucking year, known around the world like I want Michael Jackson type of time of world recognition. I know it. I got it. I just didn't get that opportunity. But in the midst of the opportunity, are you making the best motherfucking song? Are you out here? Okay, shit, I couldn't find a producer. I couldn't find somebody to make the beat. I couldn't find somebody to do this. But you know what? Guess what I can do? In the midst of this time, I'm fit to get on grind time. And on grind time, shit, if this label ain't picking me up, this label ain't doing that, it clearly, that must be an indication or a sign. And I don't know why I got to use music as a prospect, because so somebody must be looking to get into music. So in this time of you sitting here trying to get your music going, your rap career, your singing career, whatever the fuck it is that you want to do, right? I don't give a fuck even if this pursuing a relationship, changing your life, how you eat, how you exercise, how you think. It requires you to take action. All right. Where was it that you was telling no? If you was told no, that, hey, I'm not going to hire you for this job, right? Or I'm not going to hire you for this script, or I'm not going to hire you for this song. I'm not going to hire you for this idea, or I'm not going to hire you because you're a criminal or some shit, right? If for every time they told you no, let's look at everything that you selected. Was it bullshit jobs? Was it something to get you by? Was it just something to make you just think? Or was it, okay, that didn't work. All right, so what's the one thing, what's another thing that I can do? All right, well, let me look around about all the shit that do make me happy, that I know I can do. What is it that you can do? You can get up and think fucking positive, for one. Two, it's going to require me to have a whole different train of thought. Okay, if these people told me no, they told me no, this person is not taking my situation serious. It's no different than if you had to go to fucking court and you sit here, oh, my lawyer's sitting here overcharging me. They're doing this shit to me. Okay, that requires me to sit the fuck down. They told me no. They told me no. They tell me no. Guess what? I'm fit to pick up every fucking book that I need, because you need money, right? I need to go pick up a money book then. I need, or shit, if I ain't gonna pick up a money book, shit, a lot of you motherfuckers in this age, y'all so codependent on YouTube and what other fucking people do. And sometimes that shit don't work for you. I learned that myself. Everything that I would learn on fucking YouTube is not going to work for me. If somebody fucking fired me from a job, shit, I'm going to get a different job tomorrow. They be like, well, shit, yesterday you was doing here. Now, today you sit here cutting grass. Shit, today you sit here writing this. Yesterday you did this. And then, okay, because that means I need to go ahead and explore the options of what am I really good at? And then what I'm good at. And then once you still put the initiative in that, writing that song, making that beat, drawing, shit, you could be the best fucking colorer out there. Shit, motherfuckers will sit there and watch YouTube and watch a motherfucking color like, goddamn, you can color like that. Shit, that's a talent. It's motherfuckers that can't even color inside the fucking line, and we gotta look at our 6-year-old like, oh, you made that. I ain't finna lie to you, but shit, if it's good, it's good, right? But it's no different than you making shit, even an initiative like, shit, once upon a time you was a bad motherfucking lover. Okay, this time, what can I do to be a better lover? What can I do to be a better mom? What can I do to be a better father? What can I do? It doesn't fucking matter. It's about the initiative. And every time that, if you don't know what it is, I didn't know how to be a mom. I didn't have a mom. You guess what? Parenting books were a little bit useful. It wasn't all the way, but it was a little bit useful. Okay, I need to know the psychology of what age group of the kids are you targeting. Shit, what type of music genre are you looking to target at, right? I'm going to read something. You got to read. Not study it, but you got to read it. Okay, so with me reading that, if it's music notes, read music. Read the music notes. When you know how, I'm going to keep it with you so real. Like, I low-key feel like I should do it, but it's just like, right now is just not the time. But when you start reading music notes and you know how to read them efficiently, there is no instrument that you would not ever know how to play. Like what I knew how to do, I knew how, you know how those little plastic flutes we had? I used to know how to do that. The piano. Oh my God, I miss playing the piano. Those type of things will cause you to stimulate your brain in such a way where if there's something that you're at an emotional block, a psychological block, a mental block, those type of things, whenever you're using your feet, you're using your hands, shit, going to hike, touching a tree, it's a real thing, but it's energetically going to allow you to open up like, hey, maybe I'm not talking good to myself. You know, you'll learn in the process of me, shit, I'll use my fuck up. Me sitting there staying in those relationships, knowing that they wasn't good for me, knowing that in that process that the trauma of what was actually forced upon me, even though it wasn't, most of them wasn't by choice, I had to look at Sharita, you're not respecting yourself the more you're allowing another person disrespecting you. You're not respecting your body the more you allow this person, you know that they're cheated and then they're laying back with you. You're not respecting your body, right? So how do I gain back to respect my body? That means you got to keep it to yourself. That means you have to be very selective about who's entering you. Also, when I started to learn around that time, hey, when I'm laying with particular people, my mood where I'm going from super fucking happy, now I'm going to super depressed. My moods is going from everything is growing, now everything is crashing. It's not about what you're doing most of the time. Sometimes it's about who the fuck you laying with. So what should I do better? I gotta be real fucking selective about who the fuck around me. Should you find yourself lying to yourself? It's not like that person lying, like you realize people are lying to you. All they do is lie, lie, lie. Where the fuck you lying to yourself? I'm lying to my motherfucking self. The more I keep this lying ass motherfucker around me. I'm lying to myself every time that I'm sitting here and saying, I'll do it tomorrow. You lying to yourself because you know tomorrow you ain't gonna fucking do it. So of course, energetically, what you're gonna attract into people that's gonna lie to you. Girl, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Hey, bro, I'm gonna run over here and bring you that money. You know that motherfucking line, they ain't gonna bring it to you because why? You lying to yourself that you said you was gonna get up and go mow the lawn. You simple little things like that. That stuff will start playing a factor in your everyday life, which start to come in where you get people energetically always talking about, oh, you got karma. No, the only karma that's being created is the self karma that I'm giving myself when I'm lying to myself, saying somebody is my friend and they're not. When I'm lying to myself, talking about I'm gonna make that beat and I didn't. When I'm lying to myself that I said I'm gonna write that song and I didn't. I'm lying to myself whenever I'm saying I'm gonna get ready to go exercise and hit the gym and I didn't. You see, that type of stuff be real ass things, and then it be people sitting here right now, return to center energy do not belong to me, that keep sitting here bringing this evil eye and you keep being stupid as shit. Find you something better to do. Go listen to that song, Whatever You Need. Like, go listen to some Tony Tone. Somebody sitting here, you're old school, okay? You in your 50s and 60s and shit like that. Go sit down, go listen to a goddamn song. Go listen to some music. Get that shit up out your goddamn body. Don't sit there and be angry about something. You sit here angry about a little bit of nothing when a lot of shit that you can do creates fucking change in your life every day. Child, if you coming over here with all this ha, child, bye. You a distraction. But you know, when you sit there and look at life about what it is that you're going through, you start to recognize what it is that you can do differently. You'll realize like, okay, what parts of my brain am I not using? Am I more in my, right hemisphere or am I in the left hemisphere? Am I in my heart or am I not in my heart? Did I allow trauma to really cause me to do this shit? Or is there certain people that I need to get around so I can learn how to do better with my shit? I'm gonna fuck up sometimes. I know I'm going to fuck up, but as long as, guess what? Accountability. I know I'm going to fuck up a little bit. However, I'm willing to still do this shit legitly, regardless of how fucking long it's going to take me. I'm willing to do it. The commitment to self, sit there, outranks anything else going on in your world. And that's how the fuck you fucking win, regardless of what it is. It'll be people willing to do shit, but you know you win every fucking time when you make that agreement within yourself and you stay committed. Even though I don't want to get up here and I don't want to be on this shit, I'm being committed to it. Even though it's plenty other fucking things that I need to be doing that I should and I want to do, but I'm being called to do this. Every time it's like, God, but I want to go do this. But sometimes it's not always about what I want to do. It's about what I need to do. And what I need to do, shit, I'm on my path. I'm on my purpose. Some people don't like it. They ain't got to like the delivery. Shit, God said love, not you ain't gotta like your motherfucking ass. And I don't like motherfucking humans. I can't stand you motherfucking humans. But God said I gotta love you. Shit, you can't hate something that you ain't ever loved. And baby, if a motherfucker got a whole bunch of hate for you, shit, they had a whole bunch of love for you once upon a time. That's why Tupac made that song. I ain't mad at you. Do your thing. Okay, you got to do your thing one way or another, baby. Because even with the hate, it brings in a lot more fucking love than anything. You had to have, in order for a person to have hate, and hate is such a strong word, you had to have strong love for that person once upon a time, regardless of how it goes. And it's just like, you think about it, it's like, dang, I had to think about when, Buddy had got me set up like that, and, with the drug my drink and all that other shit. And I thought about it, I said, but the craziest thing, I said, Sharita, the craziest thing that he did was that he did his due first before he allowed all the rest of the people to do what they did. And I said, Sharita, that's crazy than a motherfucker to think about that. I was like, shit, at least he was selfish enough to say, well, shit, I'm going to hit it first before anybody else do this shit. Then I'm going to still record it and go ahead and put it on there because I got to prove my loyalty to this female, that I'm loyal to her. And I thought that shit was crazy work. I was like, this nigga really did this shit. He said, shit, I'm at least hit it one more time before I go ahead and drug this bitch and then go ahead and record it because I still want to prove my loyalty for whatever the fuck this shit was. And it was like, even then, when that first time that situation happened, that motherfucker knew what was up. He was like, shit, that was all me. And ain't no need for anybody to do anything but shit to keep everybody out of there, because everybody was like, well, whose baby is it? That motherfucker knew it was his baby. But the craziest thing of it is they didn't know all of that shit. They just knew that, hey, he carried through with whatever action it was that he did. And that was that. But it's just like, I ain't ever get, it's like, I struggle with the fact that it's like, Shorty, you should be so angry. You should be so mad about it. And I was like, but I'm not. But it was like, that's when I knew that I came to peace with all of it. I came to peace with all of it. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes it just depends on what it is that's going on. But for you to have to choose how far certain situations is going to go, it requires for people to tell you, how it happened, what happened. But it's like, eventually the truth, like what goes on in the dark always comes to the light, right? And it just requires for you to look at a situation in a whole different perspective, especially when you look into like prove certain allegations of like, damn, this shit is wrong as fuck. But then if you got to go undercover or if you got to do certain things in a job, it's going to get real sticky. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why when people be asking me all the time, are you part of the CIA or are you an FBI agent? I'm like, what? What the fuck make you think I'm a CIA agent or a fucking FBI? I wouldn't waste my time with that, because at that same time, it's just like, I think about how many times that I have had that run in with those type of agencies before since a kid. And it's just like, when you look at it, it's just like, I wouldn't want to put myself through that type of torture. I wouldn't want to hurt nobody just to get to the truth or the bottom of a situation. But then it was like, I already knew since a little girl that it was going to be a situation at one point in my life that I would be the bait of a situation, just for them to be able to come to the fact to prove a point of that's who it is. And it's like, even the people, and I was like, I already knew since I was 10 years old that it was a situation that would come up about the shit that was happening since it happened to me as a kid. But the thing of it was, how many people in the world could you convince and make them believe that it's this kid right here that has that strand, that DNA, and they are who they say they are? And it's like, I just remember just having that conversation. It was just so long ago. And I can remember it like it was yesterday, because it was like, I just remember being in a trance. And when I was in that trance, I was like, it's going to be difficult, because look at all the hate we have in the world. The cure for hate is love. But how many people can you prove that love is the cure for the hate that everybody carry, if everybody is still having own probable cause and agendas to go ahead and try to bring down certain people? But it's like, Sharita, but you're so calm, but you shouldn't be. And then your anger is like, you have to control your anger. You have to control so many aspects of yourself in order for people to understand how far mental health go, how far psychological health go, how far emotional health is important, trauma, abuse, legal, the legalities of those things, the principalities. This will be the principality of a situation where people would not be able to articulate those type of conversations for themselves. So the frustration will come in the form of people not knowing exactly how does this go? Where is this predestined? Is it preordained? In some situations, yes. In other perspectives, no. But would you really know how far this stuff go? Some people, me and 42 and 43, 42 knows, 43 knows. The rest of them are still in that other way of understanding how it goes. But I can tell you, and on a higher level, on a hierarchy level, President 41, 42, and 43 are aware. All the other ones, these three are in cahoots. And not in a bad way. It's one of those like, shit, I didn't feel that we would have had to activate this team all over again, but activating this team will require for me to prove. And with this proof of something, this is going to lead to, we're going to have to put up the strike team in order for them to know exactly what we're saying and what we mean, because I didn't expect for this situation to, they would have thought that they would have had until 2036, honestly. 2036 was the actual predestined prediction for the situation. 2026 would have been one that they waited until it went to the surface of other people understanding what this is. But with the release of all information and then getting certain people involved, the corruption got they got a whole lot out of fucking hand. And with it getting all out of hand, now this is where, if we wanted to recreate and create that balance back into the religion, there's no way possible right now with how people are moving. And it's being proven by the second, by the day of, look at this. But then it's also when you have to, this is like a Guinness World Record type of situation. That's crazy. Of proving matriarch versus patriarch. But this is also one of those, if we have to prove the reason being why we say certain women should not be in position, this will be one of those reasons. This will be a reason. And then it will also be the reason of looking at a situation of them saying, hey, this is why we say with certain women of particular positions should not have those positions. Right now, in my situation, this will be one of those where I don't like that fucking feeling to do that because it's so unconsented. But it's like, baby, you gonna be paid for. Trust and believe. But it's one of those like, what do you do when you have a woman that has the authority in the position to prove to other fucking women that now that these women have to do that, I would literally have more hate from women than I would have from anything else. And it's not to, to make it seem like it's a bad thing, but it's also one of those, either you're going to be willing to learn or you're going to be willing to be one of those people where these group of men will base this situation or their decision off of this one woman. Which one is more useful? So now you're going to be stuck into this probable cause. Are the women from this person's age and under, or would it be from her age and down, or would it be from her age and all around? So in this situation, it's basically statistical, analytical at this point, and then now it's about to progress into a fundamental. So I'm looking at some type of analysis at this point. So when I'm speaking on it being a federal type of thing where people are like, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, and it's like, listen here, the stupidity of what most people talk about, it's like, I know that they're doing this and I know what they're doing that. Do you know on what type of level that this is? Can you read their minds? Most of them are like, what do you mean? I can tell you who's here, why they're here. They're not going to tell you. Of course not. But if I tell you, that's going to fuck up a lot of things. Right now, I'm dealing with somebody from India that's doing the screen share, weird shit, whatever. But I'm also seeing somebody working in a building, in an office, and they're sitting here in shock because it's like, hey, boss, you see this? They sending that information down to somebody else's office, and it's like, Somebody's trying to reach out to somebody, whoever they got on ground in the field, as they say, and whoever it is that they have in the field, this is NSA at this point, and whoever they have in this field is just like, I thought you said that you implanted this. There's certain things that they can implant in certain people, and some people are like, oh, it's a conspiracy. Okay, is it really? They didn't say Elon Musk did the brain chips for no reason, stupids. But how big is that nano chip? Okay, don't worry, I'll wait. Most of the time, if you're part of government property, right, we can experiment on you, right? Right. So I can use a prime example. Here go one. I have another one. And the other one is here. There. So, with that being said, someone is just like, I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. Trust and believe I'm not a robot. Or maybe, who's to say? But this is like, I'm hearing Team USA. It's like, I gotta offer this opportunity. I mean, I would. There's no choice. This comes with a lot of money, though. But it's definitely a female that's sitting here still trying to prove a point with these religious people. This is one of those situations where they have no choice. It's about to be something that y'all see here, give or take. It's going to be before the end of the year, most definitely. Something is going to take off this month. But somebody is going to try to avoid this. Like, look, I pay you this to keep this quiet. You're moving a little bit too slow, because somebody's going to be like, I thought you said they would not ever do this. Somebody's name is Ryan or Riot. Orion, something like that. Orion, O'Brien, or something like that. These are higher ups. But in this situation, this is like, okay, what can I do and how much can I pay her to keep quiet about this? Well, if you held out on the payment for so long, it's just like, these people were supposed to be able to keep control of this, and that's not. This is like the corrupt people, corrupt government, because it's like, it's being a point used in this situation. Like I said, I remember asking you a question a while ago. If it came to you and I ever had to ask you, man or woman, could you handle being a black person? Would you want to be a black person in today's world? Do you feel you could survive being a black woman, at that, being a single woman and a parent at that? And I'm 100% sure I could tell you, more often than not, more people will say no. But if you have to ask them, what is your real deep thinking of why would you say no, of not wanting to be, 1, black, 2, a woman, 3, single, 4, with children? Why? And meaning you have to really just think about that. What are those complexities of you really saying no, of what would make you, regardless, if you can go across the board, it doesn't matter. If I had to sit down and talk to every nationality, and clearly I didn't have Asian, I didn't have Arabic on the board, black, white, I didn't have people of organizations, terrorist group, left-wing capitalists, aristocrats, bureaucrats, anything that you can think of. I'm 100% sure if you ask them all, would you want to be a black woman in today's world? Man or woman, I'm 100% to tell you, they'll say no. But they'll tell you, we love their personality. We love how strong they are. But would you, if you could change yourself right now in this second, would you be a black woman? Did you not know, in all worlds, in all aspects, and regardless of what research that you do, your last reincarnation is to become one of the most hated races in the world? And you know what race is that? Black American. Black American. You have reached your reincarnation of life when you become like most people will be like, I want my reparations. It's not about reparation, babies. Your reparations has already been paid for, whether you know it or not. It's not about slavery. Slavery is a mentality. Slavery is a mentality. I can make you a slave if you go ahead and work for my company. I could make you a slave if I make you a slave to you got to abide by this, this, and this, and you got to make sure you're doing this by society norms. You are a slave. I, I want to. My parents wouldn't like if I date a white man. Then you're a slave. I'm Arabic and I'm Muslim. I can't date someone black. Then you're a slave. You can still respect your religion just because that's a religion. Religion is structure. Color and nationality is something different. So if they teaching you to love and you're not able to love who you love, then what are you accustomed to? You're a slave to their religion. Oh, I'm Spanish and I wouldn't want to date no black woman, no black man. Then you a slave to the mentality. You a slave to the way that you do that. You are a slave to a behavior. Any person seeking like revenge on another person because of the color of their skin or where they come from, how they behave, you are a slave to a mentality. You are a slave to probability, to a cause. That's a slave mentality. That's a theory they've been running since fucking 1953. Because unbeknownst to a lot of people, shit, they only use, you not know, most of the time research studies and MK Ultra were used mainly on white people before anything else. They used to use them to mutate, to create certain things, whether it became from sperm or anything. They will actually experiment where a lot of people be like, they use our black people to do this and this. No, they just went on ahead and used the blind study because you guys wasn't really prone, and because some of the people were still stuck in that slave mentality and they still had Jim Crow, and a lot of people were still standing in fear factors of certain things when it came to practices. That's why they were able to do, the Tuskegee shit. That's why they was able to do the study that they did in Puerto Rico. I want to say that they did the reproduction thing on Puerto Rico. They did chemicals. They did jobs. They did the correlation of mixing. When they did the major mixing of people and shit, we go all the way back to the Great Depression. The Great Depression was the biggest time for them to do research study, but they didn't have the advanced technology to be able to run what it was that they were seeing. 53 was more of the mental aspect because they knew that they can test you mentally. Then when you go ahead and start advancing a little bit more, now we got the technology. Now we can sit there and look at your blood DNA. Now we can sit there and look at the strands of your hair, your skin color. They can even go as far as looking at your soul. The technology is now to a point where they can put you in certain things and positions to see the value of your soul. And most of it is like, it's superficial, not so much artificial, but artificially it can be mutated and genetically made. Now, that will require for you to have some type of intellect on cyber that will allow you, most of the time, most of those people are in the black web. So if you ain't in the black world, black market, however you want to call it, whatever your vice is, you're not going to see the darker aspect where certain people will feel like that's dark, that's evil, that's hateful. And it's like, yeah, it is, but then it's not. It's the harsh reality that's been happening for over fucking years. But over the last 10 years, people really knew the true reality and the harsh realities of what are used on this stuff. Most of the time it's principalities. To me, I'm based more of it's the principle of the shit. It's not about what you're doing, it's the principle. It ain't about the fact that you lied, it's the principle of the shit. Why lie when you ain't gotta lie? Why do the fuck shit when you ain't gotta do it? Why do something against somebody and you know that they can prove it? You see? Excuse me. It's the principle of the shit. It's the principle of all of that shit at the end of the day. It's not about what you're doing. It's about what's the purpose of you doing it? Why would you do that? For what? And then especially, why would you do that if it's like an insult to an intelligence. It's the insult to the factor of you even feeling it was okay to do that in the first place. And then the worst part of it is, if I scientifically and strategically place this here, and this is something where most of the time on, I'm going to say on a hierarchy, right? Some things, think about it in this way. How much time did you usually have on a loan for a mortgage? 30 years. This situation in this test study was done for 30 years. And other factors, 53 years. It just depends on what are your capabilities in the structures of your things. So if I go all the way back to, when did Oprah take off? 94. When did Shaq and Michael Jordan's businesses take off? Give or take between 91 and 1994, correct? So if you go ahead and add it all the way up until now, it's about 53 years or so right there, right? But if I go ahead and go back to those schools, where did Shaq go to college or high school? Where did Michael Jordan go to high school or college? Did Oprah go to college? Did Stedman go? Where did Gail go, right? Shit, where did Bill Clinton go? Where did George W. Bush go? Shit, Trump, did you ever go to school? And if I go all the way back to those type of things, right? You'll start being able to correlate and make the dots and connections about what it is. Also, shit, were they part of a sorority? Were they part of a fraternity? Wait, what was that school thing? It's about the history of it. But then when you get to the history of it, you get to the dick of it, right? You gonna be like, God damn, how the fuck did I miss all this shit? So strategically, whenever they're gonna do certain things, it's about certain people. It's not about the source of your skin, how much money you make. Sometimes some people are strategically placed in locations where it's like, well, I feel like if I take this girl, and a lot of people, if look at my skin color, right? And my skin color, you can go to India, right? And it'll be a girl that you'll see in India. She's way darker than me. Highly melanated. But you want to know where they're going to put her at? They're going to put her into the adult industry. They're going to traffic her. Because they don't see the use in her. But that use of her system, if that girl passed away and we was to take her and bring her to another country or bring her here to America, that girl, that dark girl or that brown girl from India, she's worth gold. But due to the miseducation of the caste system on all European and American westernized level, most doctors or other places wouldn't see the benefits of them. Like if I was to tell you what really goes on in fucking India right now, a lot of people would be like, shit, I don't even want to fuck with y'all like that. Y'all be in shock and amazement where that is shit. If you working with some of these doctors and shit like that, you will be so shocked and surprised how fucking dark these motherfuckers willing to go. Most of the time, they only really respect most of those doctors if they don't come from like mid-city of India or from the north part of India. Any other doctor that comes from like Bangladesh, Nepal, and anything south, they don't respect them. They will use them to do all the dirty deeds because they expected they get the lower end of certain things. Shit, they usually the thieves, they the hackers, they the motherfuckers that lie, connive. Shit, those usually be the ones that are sent over here to fucking America. 10 times out of 10, they either stay in Texas, Tennessee, Kentucky, here, Florida, Georgia, and stuff like that, where you see mainly these Indian motherfuckers. Trust and believe me, it's a hustle and bustle, and they really they do fucking business with the underworld. That's how the fuck them motherfuckers be rich. It's no different than sometimes you see some motherfuckers coming from China, Hong Kong, and shit. If you see they ass came from like Okinawa, Japan, and shit like that, it's a hustle, baby. It's a hustle. Because they figured out a way to go ahead and get the system. Like, I remember seeing one dude, he came from China. I'm talking about, he had nothing. But shit, going into Chinatown and shit like that, if you get into the right motherfuckers, shit, your money gonna get up. You gonna end up fucking up. They'll go to California and shit like that. They get the money up. Find out they in fucking Utah and they living in $1 billion homes and shit like that. But they done got in because guess what? Their skin complexion is fair. They done lost eyesight. That shit, nigga. You came from Asia and shit like that. And the fact that you came from over there, did you forget that your ass is like the yellow Negroes of the fucking America? Like you got the principle. It's about the principalities. Chinamen used to be considered the yellow skin, or as you hear in the black community, all that's a high yellow. Low, unbeknownst to black people, high yellow was actually considered the black people that was mixed in with Chinese. Unbeknownst to a lot of people in slavery, we had a lot of Chinese black people. Then you had the black Indian people, which was an experiment years ago. I want to say that they stopped doing that around like 1873, 1893. And then it carried all the way up to 1933, 36, that shit ended. So if we really had to go back through American history and shit like that, it's a lot of people that's due for money that the certain people run, and they end up using them for counties. If your county a Indian territory, is your county red line and all the Asians and Arabics live in there, it's because, hey, it's certain money that came in that community that these people got the call like, hey, over here such and such passed away and they got this property. This shit runs deep. And the reason being why they would want to sit there and do certain shit, and I can't make this up, the reason being why they sit there and go after certain people, if they can't get you to sit there and say that you're psychologically, mentally, emotionally, or intellectually incompetent, or they can't get you to seem like you have a psychological or a mental disorder, they can get away with your money. But when it's not proven, now it's either going to go one or two ways. But considering if you're not working for the government, or you're not working for the federal government or for the system, guess what? Now that's a little bit difficult, because now if I end up trying to hide, because right now this is one of those, we have to hide her. We have to hide her, because if everybody knew who she really was, we got a fucking problem. Because on that situation, like you hear about those experiments about Dexter's Laboratory, the Powerpuff Girls, people that know how to use telekinesis, people that know how to do, move certain things from here. Like you get mad, and well, I can't say everybody do it. It's only like right now, like I said, the numbers has literally dropped. Like since 1983, those people who are surviving from those times, the numbers has really dwindled. I think literally it's up to 9 people still alive that can do the shit that I do. And it's not like a bragging thing. It's not something to talk about. It's not like anything like that. But to know exactly what type of experiments, and then if you are part of the military and things like that, that requires them to go ahead and be able to say, oh, I put you on this type of medication and this type of things, and this will cause you this type of psychosis and all this other things, right? Like, it runs deep. I don't feel like I have to elaborate on it, but it's just like certain things where it would be like, where an average person will get mad at, like, oh, I got raped and oh my gosh, I feel embarrassment and shame. I'm not going to feel embarrassed and shame. You want to know why? It's a part of life. We are in America. That shit is going to happen. But however, is it one of those where you just so happen to be a random selected person, or were you a person that was part of an organized crime system that was put in there? So now I'm having to justify, is this an organized crime situation, or was I just randomly selected? You were an organized part of the crime. So in that aspect, right, compared to a mentally strong person to a person who's already emotionally, intellectually weak, right, I have a problem. But the person who's intellectually, mentally, emotionally weak and still have trauma, I can keep beating you down and down and down and down every fucking time, right? But also the biggest way that I can beat you down even more is going to be politically, it's going to be religiously, emotionally, and I got to do everything in my power to sit there to make you feel way less than what you are already feeling, right? But if I'm not able to do that, now I'm going to resort to sorcery. Sorcery been around since how long? Most people are like, oh, everybody think it's The Hobbit. That shit is a real thing. I forgot the name of the movie. It's like a 1983 movie that they made based off of how this shit really goes off. But they try to use like certain things like that. That's no different than Star Wars. Star Wars is a thing. But people didn't want to believe it because shit, that was like the early 70s. So people were like, oh no, it's Star Wars. There's no way that this happens. And it's like, people actually have those capabilities, but they're not going to let you see that because guess what? If I can keep you sustained in front of that television, the same way that I had to train people to understand the man on the moon, it's no different than that. But if I could sit here and convince you like, hey, one thing for sure, two things for certain. A lot of people are so attached to every single fucking emotion that there is in the world. The more attachment you have, the easier it is to go ahead and abuse you and take advantage of you. You can't take advantage of someone who's like not attached to anything. As shit, if we're gonna do it, shit, fuck it. Let's go for it. If I sit there and tell you, hey, atheists will tell you, I don't believe in Jesus. Okay. All right. Well, why does an atheist not believe in Jesus? Well, based on their research and everything all around, right? The confusion comes into, was Jesus just Jesus in the source to the divine source or to God? Or was Jesus considered a prophet or prophecy, right? Jesus was a prophet. When was Cleopatra in the Egyptian times? Before Christ, right? Before Christ, who did we have? We had the Greeks and the Romans. The Greeks and the Romans wasn't aware of the Egyptians and their capabilities until they had got a prophecy from who? Their prophets at that time was like Apollo. The other one was Daphne, or what's it called? Daphne, or Daphne or whatever. So when they got it from them. But they knew that something else was even more foreign to them, right? The other foreign things to them was the Mongolian people. The Mongolian people was another foreign thing to them. So at that time, the Romans and the Greeks, which was actually one thing. Then you had the Spaniards. The only thing was the dialect. When you start speaking of dead Latin and Greek language has similarities. They just didn't realize it until the connection. So those power of three, which was one form of the three kings. Then you got the Mongolians. Then you had those who came from Egypt. Those were the formulations of the three kings, because the three kings needed the bigger prophecy, which was the Messiah. The Messiah, which is now where we speaking into those things, are where you see the practices of those people who practice the Quran. Then you sit here, you run into those who practice Buddhism. And then you have those who practice the hardcore Catholicism, which Catholics allowed people to break into Christianity. Now, when you start here running into that, which one of them three do you know started the taxes before anything? Don't worry, I'll wait. So what religion out of all of them has broke off into about 8 to 12 different other aspects? Don't worry, I'll wait. It ain't no conspiracy. Do your research. That was the issue for an atheist, because what do I actually have to believe in? But Jesus did walk this earth. Jesus was a healer. But then as it started going on, the sorcery and where it got disrespected was because they held on very far from the aspect, because Moses came before Christ's existence, which you had three kings, Noah, Moses, and Job, aka part of the saints. So when you sit there and break into all these religious aspects of them, there go your main three kings. Noah went on ahead and made sure you had to have a man and a woman, a masculine and a feminine, right? In order for the elephants to procreate, the birds to procreate, all the animals he brought on those ships, it had to procreate. Moses, let my people go, because he still practiced in how y'all call it, holistic aspects. And then he also believed in, hey, you're allowed to go ahead and fast. Fasting is the thing. Fasting is what you're supposed to do to recalibrate your body, your brain, and your spirit. If you're not fasting at least one time out of the month, you are already failing yourself on any religious practice that you practice it. That's why, you get Ramadan. That's why you get these other practices, the Passover, the Jewish, and all this other stuff. So on a whole higher level on all this shit, guess what? I'm now being able to see why atheists, they don't want to believe, because it's like, well, which one is the best way to practice? An atheist is just a person who confused on which one is the best way to practice. But however, they start become believers when shit start hitting the fan, right? Then you have the antichrist. They practice heavier in a religion, but they don't practice this because they doing that extracurricular of bad evilness to it, right? But the reason being, when it came to Jesus, and a lot of people struggle with that, the reason why they didn't respect him as the prophet, because they felt a prophet, and especially when it came to men and misogyny, it was the fact that they didn't respect him, and it wasn't about what he did, it's about how far it went. So if you start digging really, really deep into Judeo-Christianity, Judas betrayed Jesus, but why did Judas betray him? So if we start digging into the story about it, it was about he committed an abomination. The abomination about that time, regardless that they were praising other deities, meaning there was supposed to be no other gods that you were supposed to be praying to at that time. That deity and the thing that he was taking on, the abomination, instead of him procreating, meaning when they sit there and tell you in the Bible, be fruitful and multiply, I can't be fruitful and multiply with the same gender. Two women can't make no baby, and two men definitely can't make no baby, right? So you were already committing the sin. So the sin that they didn't like that Jesus did, he was sleeping with the same sex. So when it came to a woman, he did acknowledge them, but it wasn't like that was his first thing. So the abomination of when he went to go tell these priests that, to them, it wasn't acceptable. That wasn't acceptable. So they disregarded what it was that he was doing because the abomination that was created. That's why right now, when you get people practicing it, and a lot of people are looking at Christianity religion as like ill, like who want to be a Christian, and it's due to the simple fact a lot of people are misusing the word and the guidance of it. And it's understandable, because shit, if you practice it, shit, they practicing what they preach. Jesus did sleep with the same sex. So if she a lesbian, shit, she doing what her religion allowed them to do. If he's sleeping with another man, he's doing what that religion allowed him to do. So that's why, who am I to judge? Don't judge unless you want to be judged. That's what the Most High had said. That was the message that was given. So a lot of people sit there and get it so misconstrued. It's like, I ain't fucking judging you, but honoring. You gotta honor it. Don't practice what you preaching. You gotta honor that shit though. But the way that it was supposed to be when Jesus did that, the reincarnation, no one knew exactly what time frame and who would the reincarnation come into. And when you come into the reincarnation, it's either black or white, right? Negative, positive. Atom, protons, neutrons. Atoms, molecules. So if we're going to sit there and start balancing it, right? And if I had to jump into quantum physics, and in the quantum physics of this stuff, whether I use artificial intelligence or whether I just do the simple math of whether I'm using radio frequencies, if I'm doing chemistry, the biology, and if I go ahead and mix all of those things and I come into the astrology and astronomy, I'm at that time frame of right now, right back into, if we go ahead right now, we're in 2025. Naturally, we are back in history of 54 before Christ existed, or we are at the time when Jesus existed, and with his existence, if he's not black, there, if he was white, then he's black now. If he was a man, then he's a woman now. As within, so without. As within, he felt like he was the woman. As without, he was the man. Somebody got to understand esoteric occult knowledge. And if you start digging real deeply in it, it requires for you to go to a mosaic. It requires you to go to a rabbi. It will cause you to go to the Vatican in the deep of the vaults. Or you will have to go to the deep cores of the, like Timbuktu, Tibetan mountains. Or you will have to go really to somebody that do Taoism. And those people still hold those secrets from thousands of years ago. You can go to the core of Egypt and even find it. Not everybody, even when you go on a Mecca tour, not a lot of those people even get the chance to do that. That's why when it comes to the Torah is very sacred. When it comes to certain other aspects of the religion, it's very deep. So that's why when it comes to you going ahead and doing the study, when it comes to the study of law, that's why that shit comes into Greek, Latin, and then you go ahead into Roman aspects of how you practice it. So law makes complete sense to me. Medicine makes complete sense to me. And if those things don't make basic common sense about what that is, then you don't understand human analogy. You don't understand the basic autonomy of humans, the physiology of a human. Excuse me. And then that will also show and prove that you don't understand the basic human nature of what a person would naturally do. Based on what it is, how they live, how they move, how they participate, how their family is going to behave, how the next person in your environment is going to behave. All that shit makes sense to me. That's why it's like, it pisses me off and it hurts my feeling and it breaks my heart, because it's just like, the cure for hate is love. And I'm trying to show love to motherfuckers that don't deserve the motherfucking love. And at the same time, I want to crush these motherfuckers like a bug. So in order for you to understand the light, you must know the dark. When you know the dark and understand it, and when you get an overstanding, you become into what? Overstimulation. The overstimulation of the energy, which is going to actually wake up an extra sensory within your body naturally, which some people call it, oh, it's my spirit guides. It's not a spirit guide. It's an extrasensory that you naturally are born with, that they telepathically, energetically, physically, and metaphysically in off of physiology is able to shut that down based off of your basic psychology, your environment, sociology, and epidemics. So when you go ahead and go into that, now we're into eugenics, and we're into a whole deeper, darker aspect of when it comes to science and when it comes to the arts. So when you go ahead and combine both of those things, and most people want to paint it towards a religious thing, it's not a religious thing, it's about a knowledgeable thing, and then about those other things, it becomes like medicinal. But are you an independent individual or you're codependent? And most of the time you're meant to be interdependent, but we live more fully in people being codependent versus independent. And then with the independence of those who know that they're independent but not fully independent, you still are in the subconscious of your brain of still acting out things, whether you know you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. So that will require for certain people to be like, you're weird, you're different. No, it's just called that your brain, you're just a deep individual. So now you turn into the top presenters, and then you got the observers. So even a 1% person or a 10%, guess what? One of their biggest pet peeve is, and one of the biggest thing that they're going to do, they're going to pay the fucking observer to shut the fuck up and go somewhere to exist wherever the fuck they please. Because, hey, social media is not the greatest place. Television, if they choose to do it, they can. But now you're starting to go into simulation. Now you can go into galaxies if you want to. Now you can go explore other fucking things that you do. And then here you are. Now we have Bill Gates. And now we have Melissa or Melinda Gates, however the fuck her name is. She's either Melinda or Melissa. And then now you run into Jeff Bezos, he's a fucking antisocial, but shit, the girl he got, I guess it'll fucking do it for him. Then you got your Elon Musk. Then you have what's her name? Sawi Ogli or something like that, the African lady, but she decided to take her shit into the adult industry. Who else? Estee Lauder. Calvin Klein. Like, the shit runs real fucking deep about how fucking far this shit goes. And then people really fucking knew how deep this shit went. Shit, this is way above the pay grade of any state governor, mayor, politician that you can really think of outside of Donald Trump his fucking self. The other fucking people are really fucking irrelevant. So if people really wanted to get to the source of it and be able to organize and structuralize more like independence, codependence, I wouldn't say codependence, more independence and interdependence. My apologies, I stand corrected. If they wanted to create more independence and interdependency and go ahead and stop more or less have lower crimes, more or less have more structure and organized where the money can actually filter effectively, and they can slow it down where it can be more inviting, and we can lessen our times out of people actually invading. So say the United States end up getting hit and people want to bomb. Guess what? More people that structuralize their state, their counties, or whatever the place may be more independently and interdependently, guess what? I'm least likely to make sure if I live in fucking Minnesota, Minnesota is not going to get hit with that fucking chemical bomb. They're not going to be terrorized. Shit. If anything, if I'm coming from another fucking country, shit, we're not fucking with Minnesota. Minnesota is a good place. You can raise your kids. It's not a lot of crime, not a lot of kidnapping, not a lot of raping. Shit, even their prison, if people do stupid crimes, they got reforms. They got this. Their judicial is actually fair. You know what I'm saying? It's not only so help me God, but shit, they actually got the Quran. They got this. They got that. You want to be more politically friendly, but also be able to effectively show it versus being a dickhead to try to prove a point of who got the biggest dick or who got better pussy in the world. Like, the shit make logical sense. But then it's like, at the same time, basic common sense is not everybody's common sense. And then it's like when they want to play on your common sense or abuse the fact that you have innocence in those things and how you will see the world, they will look for every which way to try to break you. And if then most of the time here in this day and age, it's easy to break people based off of loyalty, allegiance, emotional, strategically. You can create a divide with police. You can create a divide with race. You can create a divide on how people love versus educating and learning is more people wanting to conquer and divide versus go ahead and provide and survive and thrive. So they want you more in survival mode than thriving mode. Archangel Michael in the building. These are same people that they press, always talking about religion, and they don't practice the shit. They don't practice what they preaching. So how do you expect for me to respect your laws or respect what it is that you're doing, and then you try to throw religion, and then you using the religion to abuse the same people? It doesn't make sense. There's no logic to it. And then it's like, not only that, you're abusing their people's reproduction, you're abusing their intellect, you're abusing their psychological, their mental, their emotional, in hopes of trying to control them, of using certain things that you say, stay away from. The shit that they tell you to stay away from is the shit that you should be more curious about. Sorry, not sorry. Shit, think like a fucking child. A child is easy to forgive you, so why the fuck can't you be a grown fucking adult and forgive another fucking adult for dumb shit? Forgive them for what they don't know. If he didn't know how to treat you right, his mother didn't know how to treat him right. You forgive, let go, and carry on. It is not like you hold on. I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be bitter. I'm gonna break you down. I'm gonna show the fuck not. Next, what's better in life? If that person fucked up, you forgive them. You have the conversation about how they fucked up, how they got you fucked up, where they won't ever get you fucked up again. You send them off with a love, whether you're going to send them off with a dap, handshake, a hug, or a fuck you. Either way it goes, life goes on. You forgive. You address the elephant in the room. Guess what? Now that energy is gone. Now we don't have to keep sitting in a generation of energy of people carrying on stupid shit that is not even fucking necessary. However, you have people that want to be, I gotta hurt you. I gotta hurt you. I gotta break you down. I gotta break you down, right? So most of the time when you're surrounded by those same energies, guess what? It's about the people, the company you keep. The company you're keeping is causing you to go ahead and think that way. Oh, well, they said any man that think that any woman out here cheating, that bitch is a hoe. Okay, well, apparently your mom must have been a great whore, and then your dad treated your mom as such, right? Okay, and if you don't want someone to say that, reiterate your thinking. What was going on in dad's life that caused him to look at women that way? What was going on in your little lady? What was going on that your dad was going ahead and touching on you inappropriately? What caused that man to do that? Or here's another question. Sometimes it's not even your real parent. Sometimes it's your uncle. Sometimes it's your brother. But if until you come to the full acceptance of that, how are you going to expect for yourself to get over that? If you're still sitting in the same bullshit that caused you to sit in that type of shit. You got to learn to get past it and get over it. And then once you do, either you're going to keep staying there or you're going to leave. And it's smarter for you to just forgive them, have the conversation, and move on. And if you already tried several times and they wasn't willing to hear you, it's just in your best interest. You said your piece, walk away, and let it be what it be. Even if you got to go to court, you got to go to jail, shit, it's supposed to be an effective system, but our system showed to be very defective at times. But, you know, if it is somewhat effective, you'll go ahead and utilize that. You go ahead and put restraining orders. You'll go ahead and put their ass in fucking prison. And guess what? Now you don't have to deal with them. It's just about the fact of the matter about what choices and options are you choosing. Are you going to be knowledgeable and speak the truth? Or are you going to keep living in a fucking lie and repeating every single thing that you do? Hey, every time I seem to get in these type of people, they hurt me, they lie to me, they try to break me down, destroy me, they stealing from me. I get up, I fall down. I get up, I fall down. How many times are you going to keep doing that? No one wants to keep going through the same repeated fucking cycle. It just seems like every time that I'm over here with these type of women, I'm always in this type of situations. What is it about? Oh, they seem to always make fun of my hair, but my hair actually looks nice. A stranger told me my hair looked really, really nice. But these people that I'm really trusting and really cool with, they seem to always have the worst thing to do. Shit, I think I'm gonna take the opinion of the stranger, because the stranger thing seems a little bit more effective. Hey, it was the stranger that stopped me and said, hey, it looks like you got your period. You know, you might want to switch your pants. You see what I'm saying? It's certain shit like that. But it'll be people you hanging out with won't say anything to you like, hey, you got a booger on your nose, or shit. Even sometimes a stranger will be like, hey, come with me really quick. And they wiping your nose because shit, you might be a person who's a cokehead or some shit. It ain't my fucking problem. But if I see it, I'd rather, hey, look at me, turn this way. Let me clean this off of you. Carry on. I don't need you to thank me. It's nothing that I need in return. You ain't got to do no fucking favor, no nothing. Hey, I just know that there's other people that I'm clearly seeing you walking around with, and no one is telling you that you got something on your face, or someone's not telling you there's something on your clothes, on your butt, or nothing like that. That's pretty like selfish. It's been plenty of people, you know what I'm saying? It's not to brag or nothing about it, but shit, it's like, okay, well, I know you on that shit, but it also seems like you trying to keep yourself upstanding. It's like somebody trying to carry themselves real proudly, but you see that come here, let me holler at you. Shit, I'll take my shirt or yours and, hey, let's clean up. Have a good day. No judgment. And it's like, and of course it's going to confuse people because they're going to be like, I'm not here to fucking judge you. Shit, it was just on your face. I don't feel like you would want to walk around with that. I mean, unless you do. But it's not my problem. But shit, the best thing that I can do is do that for you. And you go on about your day and you be okay. There's no love, no flirting, no extra, all in between. Everyone deserves to be treated right sometimes. Regardless. Everyone deserves to be treated. They ain't got to be the greatest person in the world. Ain't got to be, but treat people right. And when you do that, life tends to change for you. It really does. It's like people sit here at times, there be people shit. You know, people be acting like, oh, they stole from you, they lied on you. Okay, congratulations. Who hasn't been stolen from? Who hasn't been lied on before? I had that happen from the closest people do to me. So someone who was paid to do it to me, does it make it any better? Does it make it worse? They was just paid to do it. They had a job to do, and apparently they did a good job at it. But did they say anything about it? Maybe, maybe they won't. But guess what? You still gotta what? Heal. They said don't give so much good advice. It causes harsh feelings. Their harsh feelings ain't got shit to do with me. The only thing that has to do with me are you fucking healing. It's a thin line between love and hate. Confirmation prediction. I hope some of you going ahead and learn certain things and do a self-reflection. Mental illness is a mental force, allowing people to force things upon you. You protect yourself from sorrows and illness, not the other way around. You only allow sorrow and illness to get the full benefit of you if you don't allow yourself to accept the fact of what happened to you. It happened. You came. They saw. They conquered. They took. They robbed. They lied. It hurt you. But did you heal? I healed. I cried. I was lying to myself. I thought it was something real, but it was a mental game. It was an intellectual game. It's a spiritual game. But at the same time, I called back my power, and those people are irrelevant at this time. So you go on, and life goes on. They chose what they chose to do, and you get to choose what it is that you're going to do. And if that's going to be you healing, heal. If you call on the divine or a higher power, the divine is my comfort. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. And I'm not one for nothing.